Good day. Have a wonderful Friday today. I thought I was about done putting videos up here, but Lord says, nope. I got about 50 more to do. And today's going to be on greed and materialism. A lot of that going on today. I said people are greedy, but they don't want to work for it. They just want to give it to them. Give me this, give me that, give me that. Yeah. But it's going to be on greed and materialism. There are many warnings in the Bible about giving in to greed and longing for riches. Jesus warned in Luke 12:15, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, greed. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. In Matthew 16:19 and 24, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. You cannot serve both God and money. Did Jesus pursue acquisitions of money and wealth? Nope. On the contrary, he became poor for our sake and had no place to even lay his head. That's in Matthew 8:20. The only disciple concerned with wealth was Judas. He betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Greed and a desire for riches are traps that bring ruin and destruction. The love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. And Christians are warned, do not put your trust in wealth. Covetousness, or wanting more than what we have, is nothing more than idolatry. Ephesians 5:5. And for this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. That's pretty strong. Right there it says, if you're greedy, you're a covetous man, you're an idolater. Hebrews 13:5. Let your conversations be without covetousness, and be content with such thing as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Yeah. People go through hard times. God's people will go through hard times. It's the point of testing you. It is the love of money and not money itself that is the problem. The love of it is the problem. The love of money is a sin because it gets in the way of worshiping God. Jesus said it was very hard for rich people to enter into the kingdom of God. Not impossible, but very hard. When the rich young ruler asked Jesus what he should do to inherit eternal life, Jesus told him to sell all your possessions, sell everything, and then give the money to the poor. How many people would do that today? When the young man heard this, he went away sad because he had great wealth. By instructing him to give up his money, Jesus pointed out the young man's main problem, which was greed. The man could not follow Christ because he was following money. His love of this world interfered with his love of God. People are more likely to cry out to God when they are in need than when they have plenty. Too often, the wealthy become complacent, self-satisfied, and believe that they got their riches because of their own efforts, and instead of acknowledging that every good gift comes from God. The easier our lives become, the more enjoyment we derive from our wealth, the greater the temptation to store up treasures on earth instead of in heaven. If we focus on earthly things like material wealth and possessions, then we fail to give God the glory and worship He deserves. We are to serve God, not waste our time trying to become rich. Our heart's desire should be to store up riches in heaven and not worry about what we will eat or drink or wear here on earth. Matthew 6:25-34. I'm just going to give you, this is a brief thing of this. But seek first God's kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. It's part of God's provision. There are a lot of people in our nation today that are very, very greedy, especially those in power. A common problem today is what has come to be called keeping up with the Joneses. My neighbor bought a new boat, so we have to buy a bigger and better one. This is materialism at its worst. What is materialism? Materialism is defined as the preoccupation with material things rather than intellectual or spiritual things. If a Christian is preoccupied with material things, there's something wrong. That is not to say we can't have material things, but the obsession with acquiring and caring for stuff is a dangerous thing for a Christian for two reasons. The first reason is any preoccupation, obsession, or fascination with anything other than God is sinful and is displeasing to God. We are to, in Matthew 22:37-38, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind, which is, according to Jesus, the first and greatest commandment. Therefore, God is the only thing we can and should occupy ourselves with habitually. He alone is worthy of our complete attention, love, and service. To offer these things to anything or anyone else is idolatry. And the second, when we concern ourselves with the material world, we are easily drawn in by the deceitfulness of wealth, thinking that we'll be happy or fulfilled or content. If only we had more of whatever it was we're chasing. This is a lie from the father of lies, Satan. He wants us to be chasing after something he knows will never satisfy us, so we will be kept from pursuing that which is the only thing that can satisfy us. That's God Himself. Luke 16:13 tells us we cannot serve both God and money. We must seek to be content with what we have. And materialism is the exact opposite of that contentment. It causes us to strive for more and more and more and more and more, all the while telling us that this will be the answer to all our needs and dreams. The Bible tells us that a person's life is not in the abundance of things which he possesses, and that we are to seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. If materialism was ever to satisfy anyone, it would have been Solomon. He was the richest king the world has ever known. He had absolutely everything, and he had more of it than anyone, and yet he found it was all worthless and futile. It did not produce happiness or the satisfaction our souls long for. He declared in Ecclesiastes 5:10, "Whoever loves money never has money enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income." In the end, Solomon came to the conclusion that we are to, in Ecclesiastes 12:13, fear God, keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And in Mark 8:36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? The point I'm making here is to be content with where you are. Be content with what you have. There's nothing wrong with bettering yourself and to improve living conditions. The problem comes when things is all you strive for. Look at it this way. It doesn't make a hell of difference how much money or how many nice things you gain in this life. Ultimately, when you die, you can't take it with you. Other people benefit on what you've got. Guess what? You will die. Isn't it better to store up riches in heaven, where you will enjoy them throughout eternity, rather than have things here and now for the brief period of time you will spend on earth? You got to remember, everything on this earth is temporary and will one day revert back to dust. Eternity is forever. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather store up riches in heaven for when I get there. I've got them forever. Everybody here is going to die. And no matter what you have, you can't take it with you. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to be dead tomorrow. I'm having a heart attack. And I'm going to go to the bank and withdraw all my money. I want to bury it with me. Oh, well, that's going to really do you a lot of good, isn't it? You know? No, greed is very bad, and it's really bad now. I mean, people are getting so greedy, especially those in government. Oh man, you know, they're up in taxes and they're stopping this. Anything where they could gain more, so they could have more power. That's greed. Anyway, this is what God wanted me to give you this time. It's about greed and materialism. I don't have much. I spent my whole life working hard and all this stuff. And I've lost everything 3 times. And what I got now is paid for. It ain't much, but it's paid for. I have a little bit of land that's paid for. I don't own it. Even though it's paid for, I don't own it. I still got to pay taxes on it every year. So it's not mine. If I don't pay the taxes, the state just takes it. But I don't care. I don't care. I live in a little bitty dinky trailer. Only half of it, because the other half burnt. And they never had the money to rebuild and fix it. So I'm living in the half that I had the money to fix. But I don't have much. But I don't care. Things don't mean a thing to me. The only thing I really care about is having enough money to pay my every monthly bills. You know, electricity, the internet, so I can get this stuff up there, you know. That's all I care about. And going home. I would love to go home anytime, you know. I'm ready and willing and able, you know. Bring me home, Lord. But greed is a thing that is really running rampant right now. And the thing is, a lot of the people, they're greedy and they want all this stuff. And then they really don't want to work for it. They just want it given to them. Well, let's just take it from this person or that person, you know, or steal it from here or there, you know. Let's declare their land, you know, they got too much runoff. They did too big of a hill, it's got too much runoff, you know, so let's take their land. You know, that stuff's going on everywhere. But anyway, God bless y'all. I don't want to get this too long. and I got a lot more of these to do. He's wanting me to go into the things that affect your daily life every day. Greed, the rejection, and being offended, and all this other kind of stuff. Well, God bless you all, and you have a beautiful, wonderful day.